one of Lamborghini's greatest creations hit 186 miles an hour before vanishing off the face of the earth. For 40 years, nobody saw it again. This is the story of the missing Lamborghini Miura. And no, this is not about Back to the Future. When it first hit the roads, it looked like something from the future, with its sleek body, roaring V12 engine, and a reputation for being both beautiful and dangerous simultaneously. It became a symbol of speed, power, and rebellion. But one in particular took the danger to the extreme. On a daring high-speed run, this machine reached a jaw-dropping 186 miles per hour before losing control and crashing. Yeah, the wreck was so severe that most people believed the car was gone forever. A tragic end for one of Lamborghini's finest creations. Now, what nobody knew though was that the crash actually wasn't the end of its story. It was the beginning of one of the strangest disappearances in automotive history. See, after the show, the car just simply vanished. Nobody saw it at shows, nobody heard of it being sold, and it disappeared from public view for nearly 40 years. So how does a legendary supercar just disappear? And what really happened to it after that violent crash? That's the history at the heart of the Lamborghini story that we're going to uncover today. When it finally resurfaced, what restorers found inside would shock even the most die-hard Lamborghini fans. Okay, so back in the mid-1960s, Lamborghini was still a young company trying to make its mark against giants like Ferrari. But in 1966, they unveiled something that changed car history forever. You know what I'm talking about, and seriously, I'm not about to say the name of this car in Italian 5,000 times. So if you guys really want to go hard on the name, have fun in the comments. Okay, this brand of Lamborghini was the world's first true supercar. Now, what made it so revolutionary was its design.
So let's talk about the engine in the Lamborghini Miura, because this is maybe the coolest thing about this entire car.
A powerful V12 engine placed right behind the driver, a layout normally reserved for race cars, and its sleek curves, low stance, and aggressive look made everything else on the road seem outdated overnight. Celebrities, musicians, and millionaires, everybody wanted one of these things. It became more than just a car, it became a status symbol that was loud, fast, and unapologetically Italian. But very few people knew how chaotic its creation actually was. See, Lamborghini engineers were breaking every rule of design at the time. Some thought it was reckless, others called it genius. And then came the SV variant, short for super veloce, meaning super fast. I'm assuming. I don't speak Italian. Now, released in the early 1970s, it was the final and most refined version of this car line. It had more power, better handling, and a wider rear stance for improved stability. Every inch of this car screamed perfection. Only a limited number were ever made, which made owning one feel like holding a piece of automotive royalty. Okay, this is where the Tamarian family comes into the picture. John Tamarian grew up surrounded by the world of rare Lamborghinis. His dad had a very deep passion for the brand, but he also had a special love for, the yum. See, to them, these cars were personal stories, a connection between generations built on admiration for speed, art, and craftsmanship. So when a story resurfaced about one of these SVs that had crashed, vanished, and then reappeared decades later, it was something deeply personal for John. Something tied to his family's lifelong obsession with these legendary cars. But where had it been for all those years? Who kept it hidden, and why? So at the height of its glory, this particular SV became known not just for its beauty, but for the insane speed that it could reach. And one unforgettable day, the car was pushed to its absolute limit, a mind-blowing 186 miles per hour. Okay, that kind of speed in the early 1970s was unheard of for a road car. You have to look at this in context.
Didn't blow the motor, he thought the engine was blown. He was doing what a 18-year-old, 19-year-old would do with a Lamborghini Miura.
At that speed, even the smallest mistake could turn deadly. And somewhere along that run, something went wrong. Maybe a slight loss of traction, maybe just bad luck. In seconds, the car lost control and slammed straight into disaster. The sound of the V12 roar was replaced by screeching tires, twisting metal, and chaos. And the really haunting part is that nobody really knows what caused it. Some people say that the tires gave out. Others think that the driver refused to lift off the throttle. What really happened that day is still a mystery. What we do know is that when the wreckage came to a stop, what was left barely looked like a car at all. The once perfect frame was mangled, the panels were shredded, and the golden symbol of Lamborghini's pride was now a crumpled mess. Witnesses and enthusiasts who heard the news couldn't believe it. One of the most beautiful cars ever built had just been destroyed. Now, at first, everybody just assumed it was gone for good, written off as a total loss. But some people wondered that maybe, just maybe, it could be rebuilt. Obviously, the owner was heartbroken, and within the car community, that crash felt personal. Now, this is where the story twists because instead of being repaired or scrapped, it just simply disappeared. No photos, no auction listings, no traces anywhere in collector circles. It was as if the car had just been erased from history. For decades, people in the Lamborghini world talked about it like a myth. Some believed the wreck was quietly bought and stored away by a private collector who couldn't bear to see it scrapped. Other people thought the owner kept it hidden out of guilt or emotional attachment, unable to let it go. A few even said it had been shipped overseas and forgotten somewhere in a warehouse and it was collecting dust. Now, whatever the reason, this car's absence became legendary. Among collectors, the idea that such an iconic SV had vanished only made it more fascinating. Now, every time one of these cars showed up at a show or auction, people would ask, is this the lost one? 40 years is a really long time for a car to stay hidden, especially considering how small the world is today. But sometimes, legends have a way of returning when nobody expects it. So after 4 long decades of silence, the lost SV finally resurfaced, hidden away in a private collection covered in layers of dust, but still carrying that unmistakable spirit. When experts laid eyes on it, there was no doubt. This was the same SV that had crashed at 186 miles per hour all those years ago. Its body still bore the scars of its violent past. Yet beneath the damage, the heart of a legend remained intact. Naturally, the rediscovery sent waves through the car world. Restorers and enthusiasts couldn't believe that a car thought to be gone forever had survived. Over time, careful hands began the process of bringing it back to life. Every curve, every bolt, and every detail was restored with respect to its original form, not to erase its story, but to preserve it. This restoration wasn't about perfection, it was about honoring what the car had been through. When it finally stood completed, gleaming once again, it wasn't just another restored classic, it was a symbol of endurance. Today, its value is measured not only in millions of dollars, but in what it represents: history, craftsmanship, and passion reborn. For John and his family, seeing this car alive again meant more than just witnessing a piece of automotive art. It reminded them of why people fall in love with cars in the first place. Because behind the engines and the metal, there are stories. Stories of people, stories of dreams, and of risks, and often of rebirth.
My dad's not a rich man by any means, but he's turned down some crazy offers and would probably never sell.
The SV's journey from glory to ruin and back again is a reminder that legends never truly die. They just wait for the right hands to bring them back to life. The story of the lost car is about everything that makes car culture timeless. From the moment it was born, it captured hearts with its daring design and untamed power. Its crash was a tragedy, its disappearance a mystery, and its return a reminder that legends never really fade away.
I've even thought about, one day, he always says, it's John's car, and one day it's going to be John's car. But even the responsibility, imagine, of having this car.
These are the stories that keep automotive history alive. They remind us that preserving classic cars isn't just about protecting value. It's about keeping the spirit of creation, courage, and craftsmanship alive for the next generation. Because in the end, cars like this, they're not just driven, they're lived. And as long as people remember its story, this car is never going to truly be gone.